Hi, so I'm Andrew Trimble, and for my old listening project, I chose Antonin Dvorak's Symphony Number 9, the first movement. This is from the Romantic period, and it is performed with a full orchestra. So, strings, full wind ensemble, woodwinds, brass, um, percussion, um, full orchestra. This is from 1893, so it was part of Antonin Dvorak's From the New World Symphony, Symphony Number 9. I don't know why I just did 9. It was supposed to be 9. Anyways, this was chosen because, so I did 7 years of band, which was a wind ensemble. We did not have strings at my school until very, very late. We never combined. But anyways, I would listen to this kind of music when I was in band, and I discovered Symphony Number 9 when I was in middle school, and it has been my favorite symphony for the longest time for just how epic it sounds. Which, as you'll hear, it's like this boom, 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 and it's just like this very epic theme. It's like you would be playing this if you were charging in the battle, fighting against Gladiator. Just on the Odyssey. I would definitely put this over the Odyssey, which Christopher Nolan is adapting. Maybe he'll take some inspiration, but I loved it. The fourth movement is my favorite, and it's on the list of things that I can't do because it is discussed in the book, which I was happy to see, but unhappy that I can't talk about it. So I chose the first movement. And so this piece kind of begins with this this very pianissimo melody from the strings. It's just kind of setting the mood. After about 30 seconds, woodwinds take this melody from the strings, and they just repeat it about the minute mark. Strings and brass abruptly come in. It's very, very forte. Around 134, it decrescendos. Sorry, I just got a text. Decrescendos into the softer theme from the woodwinds we've heard, but it teases the main theme, so it's kind of woven throughout this newer theme that we're hearing for the first time. And at 144, the strings begin this climbing progression. So the chord progression is we're actually going up in pitch. We are crescendoing, and then it kind of hangs itself into suspense. And I did want to play that. This won't be a long clip. I was told I can play about 10 seconds. Hopefully it's about 10 seconds. So we're hung in suspense here. And then that's the main theme. So bum and boom, 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 boom. That's actually a French horn solo there, and then it's the woodwinds come in this bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, and then I'm not sure what instrument takes it because it's that, and then it repeats itself, but not with it's not the French horn again. I just listened to it again for a brief second, but I've listened to it probably 3 times. I can't tell what instrument that is, but my best guess, and I probably should have just looked up a video of this being played, but my best guess is that it's a trumpet with a mute. I'm probably wrong because I often am. I played percussion, so Anyways, best guess is a trumpet with a mute. I'm not really sure, but it's a higher pitch, and then we still get this bow, da 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 da. Afterwards. Wait. Bum 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 bum. Sorry, I got confused. Bum 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 bum. And so it's a bit more adagio, which this is. I should have said this is the adagio section. So actually, the name of this movement is Adagio Allegro Molto. This is the adagio section. Then later, I'll say, it does go into a much more brisk tempo. That's the Allegro Molto. Anyways, so we go into this iconic theme. Brass come in, shifts up, and it's kind of like this response. It's French horn, and then the response from the woodwinds, and then mystery instrument. We're gonna say is a trumpet with mute. Response from the woodwinds. And then about 228 is what I had written as the timestamp. The woodwinds go into this accented. I call it a spiral, because when you listen to it, it sounds like they're kind of spiraling. Like. If that makes sense. I think of it as a spiral, but kind of going into this chaos. It's like, is everything falling apart? We don't really know. Gets resolved by the strings coming back. It's a climb into the main theme, and then at about 254, I have that as a loose timestamp. That's when we go into the Allegro Molto section. I'm trying to remember. Is like I'm gonna pause my videos just so I can get a refresher, because I have all these notes in my head. Sorry. So yeah, 254 actually begins this. No, not Siri. I said sorry. 254 begins this kind of 20-second transitional section. And actually at 314 we get this 1 and 2 en, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then it has this response from the strings that 1 and 2. Wait, I don't understand what my notes were. I tried to write it out in essentially the rhythm. I have strings 1 and a 2. Oh yeah, it's a 1 and a 2, and then the clarinets and flutes actually respond with this 1 and 2 en, and so it says. Anyways, I finally figured it out. My notes are chicken scratch, so apparently. They join together and they crescendo into this pitch descent, I would call it. The pitch is actually going down. It's really led by the basses and cellos. It's like this and then it does come back to the violins with the same kind of. It's a joyous. It's like a frolicking kind of theme. This. Anyways, I can't get too caught up on that. I'm already at 9 minutes. Probably tired of you listening to me. At 421, I did have a note that there is a flute solo. I'm going to play that because there's too many sounds in my head. I'm getting lost. Oh, it goes into this much slower section, and it's quieter too. This ba 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 ba, and so that I kind of think of this as like the peace among the storm. So we're conquering Rome, we're storming the beach, whatever. This boom, this these quick, punchy kind of themes that we've heard before. And then this is like the clouds have gone, the sun is shining, this kind of the battle's over, we're resting, we're thinking about family back home, whatever. And then the violins take it from this and it swells into this kind of like almost like a love theme, maybe. And this and then it does crescendo, if I remember correctly, back into this boom 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 boom, and the main theme that we've heard. And I actually had a note. Doesn't last very long. No, wait, yeah, sorry. I did have that right. When decrescendos back into this French horn solo that we've heard before, the clip that I played. And I actually put a note in here. I'm just gonna quit there. That's about halfway through the song. It is a repeat of those patterns kind of again. So there's no new themes that are introduced beyond that point. No leitmotifs, anything like that. Now the ending is a little different because it has this kind of epic finish. Everybody plays the melody, strings. Everybody, the percussion's going nuts. At the end, you get this grand finale, and then it ends with this bum, 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 these short staccato notes. And then it's actually kind of an awkward ending. You would expect them to be like dun, 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 or something, and you think you're probably halfway done, and then they're actually done. I actually thought about the joke from one of the listening exercises that we did in the book, where it's like a false ending. It's like you think it's gonna end and it doesn't, and then you think it's gonna keep going, and it ends. You think it's gonna keep going, it ends, but it's less of a joke. And so, what did I enjoy about it? Like I said, the theme is just it feels larger than life, if I talked about how I put over the Odyssey, that's true, because you kind of get this variations of emotion where you have these long drawn out, like we're sitting on a picnic blanket and staring into each other's eyes and the world is perfect kind of themes. But then you also have the intense themes, boom, 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 muscle and power, and we're jumping on the Trojan horse. And so there is a good bit of variety in this, just emotionally, and it makes me feel like I could run through a brick wall at times, but it also makes me, I'd play this over my funeral or something, in other parts, if you just extended this little 1 minute segment. And so, some of the other observations I made, because 14 minutes, whatever TA has to listen to this is probably sick of me. It was very interesting. So whenever I had listened to this in middle school, I had never actually noticed that it was a French horn solo. So we did have French horns in our wind ensemble, but I had always thought that it was like a trombone, or because trombone can go a little bit lower, boom, 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 boom. it wasn't until I was really like, well, okay, I'm gonna say this in the video. What instrument is it really? I was like, oh my gosh, that is a French horn, which is actually the first time I ever heard a trombone or a French horn where I was like, oh my gosh, that is a French horn was Jurassic Park. That bum 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 bum, which I'm tone deaf, so hopefully you knew what that was. But that was something I really have never noticed before. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I missed that. So just intentionally listening to it was huge. Other things that really stuck out, I didn't realize how many different variations there were. So when I was in middle school and I listened to this, it was like oh yeah, the bum 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 bum. I could listen to that for, the entire symphony is 50 minutes long on most recordings, give or take a minute. I just thought I could listen to that bum 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 for all 50 minutes because it was just so good, and I kind of have grown a different appreciation for this. And the they're very complimentary of each other, but I honestly don't feel like they're they're close, but they just go so well together. But I'd never really listened to those sections before, and now I'm at 17 minutes, so I'm going to end it for the sake of the TA. But yeah, Dvorak's Symphony Number 9, the first movement, Adagio Allegro molto, which means Adagio means fast, Allegro molto means very fast. It's an excellent work of music.